"Don't come to the graduation," my mom texted. "You'll just make it awkward." I replied, "Awkward for who?" My sister typed back, "For everyone, stay home." Then the principal stepped on stage and said, "We need to address something." And my name came out of the microphone. My name's Brielle Carter, and I'm 33. I work as a community college advisor during the day and spent my nights for 3 years finishing my own degree. I live a quiet life, but I carry a big pride in education. It's the one thing nobody can take from you. In my family, though, pride was reserved for one person, my sister, Vanessa. She was the one they celebrated, the one they bragged about at cookouts and posted about online. Me? I was reliable. That was my role. Reliable enough to babysit her kids on weekends, reliable enough to lend money I didn't really have, reliable enough to drive 40 minutes across town when nobody else wanted to, but never important enough to be included. I was rebuilding my life after my dad got sick and I had to leave my old job to take care of him. When he passed, I was left with nothing but grief and a gap on my resume. I was trying to prove to myself that starting over at 33 wasn't too late. So when Vanessa's big graduation day came around, all I wanted was to sit in the audience like a normal sister. Show up, clap, take a photo. That's it. Getting uninvited hurt more than I expected, and not because it was new. It hurt because it confirmed what I had been afraid of for years. They didn't want me there. Not really. Not ever. I wasn't rich or glamorous. I didn't have a fancy title or a boyfriend they could show off, but I had something they didn't expect. If you've ever been treated like your presence is a problem, you're not alone. Brielle worked hard every single day, quietly, and still got dismissed by the people who were supposed to love her the most. Hit subscribe if you know what it's like to be the one who shows up and still gets shut out. Have you ever been uninvited by your own family? Tell me in the comments, and click hype or like so more people who need this story can find it. The text came in at 7:14 in the morning. I was already dressed. I had picked out my outfit the night before, a simple navy blouse, pressed slacks, flats I could walk in. I wanted to look nice, not flashy, just nice. Then my phone buzzed. Mom's message was short. "Brielle, we think it's best if you sit this one out. It's Vanessa's day. Let's keep it peaceful." Peaceful? Like I was a storm. I stared at the screen for a full minute before I could even type. "What did I do?" I wrote back. Vanessa responded before Mom could. "You always turn things into drama. Just let me have this one thing." One thing? I had never taken anything from her, not once. I sat down on the edge of my bed and read the messages again. Then a third text came in from Mom. "Please don't make this harder than it needs to be." I found out the real reason an hour later. My coworker, Denise, called me. She worked in the registrar's office at the school where the ceremony was being held. "Brielle, your sister came in yesterday and asked if you worked here. She seemed upset when I said you help with student advising at the college across the street." It clicked. Vanessa didn't want her classmates or professors to know we were related. To her, my job wasn't impressive enough. I was a stain on her photo. So I stayed home. I sat on my couch in my navy blouse and pulled up the live stream on my phone. I watched Vanessa walk across the stage. I watched Mom clap from the second row. I tried not to cry. I mostly failed. But then I noticed something strange. On the stream, there was movement near the side doors. Staff members were whispering. The principal paused at the podium for a moment too long, looking at someone off screen. Something was happening. That evening, my phone rang. It was the principal's office. The woman on the line said, "Ms. Carter, we'd like you to come in tomorrow morning. It's important." I didn't sleep that night. When I told my mom about the call, she laughed. Actually laughed. "You're being dramatic again, Brielle. See, this is exactly why we said don't come." I wasn't being dramatic. I was shaking. But she didn't care about that. She never had. Vanessa called me that night too, but not to check on me. She called to say I was too sensitive and that I had imagined the tone of those texts. "We were protecting you," she said, her voice sweet and slow like syrup over poison. "You would have been uncomfortable." Protecting me. Right. 2 days after the ceremony, Vanessa posted her graduation photos online. Every single one was curated, polished, and captioned with intention. One read, "No drama, just my real supporters." Another said, "Surrounded by people who actually believe in me." Her friends flooded the comments. "You deserve this, Queen. So proud of you for cutting out the negativity." They were talking about me. I knew it. Everyone who saw those posts knew it too. Then, 5 days later, my phone buzzed again. Mom. "Hey, sweetie, can you watch the kids Saturday? Vanessa has a lunch thing." No apology, no mention of what happened, just the assumption that I would say yes, that I would keep being useful and stay quiet while they erased me from everything else. I almost said yes. That's the part that scares me. I almost just did it. But something shifted. I sat in my car in the parking lot at work and replayed every moment. The texts, the exclusion, the photos, the fake sweetness. It wasn't about keeping the peace, it was about keeping me controlled, quiet when they needed quiet, present when they needed a favor, gone when they needed a prettier picture. I started thinking back further. The missing invitation to Vanessa's engagement party, the time I was seated at the back table at Mom's birthday dinner, away from the rest of the family, the whispered instruction before every holiday, "Don't bring up your dad's medical bills. Don't talk about your job situation. Don't make it weird." I was always being managed. Then I found out the worst part. Denise called me again. "Brielle, I don't know how to tell you this, but your sister told someone at the school that you were fired from your advising position. She said you were let go for misconduct." My stomach dropped. That was a lie. A complete, dangerous lie, and if the wrong person believed it, I could lose everything I had worked for. What they didn't know was that I had a plan they never saw coming. See, I don't delete messages. I never have. Every text my sister sent me, every voicemail from my mother telling me to know your place, every email thread where Vanessa asked me for money and then pretended she didn't know me in public, I had all of it, saved, time-stamped, organized. I also knew how the school's front office worked. I had spent years in education. I knew how incident reports were filed, how visitor logs were kept, how complaints were processed. And I knew the school had recently tightened its security. A few weeks before graduation, there had been a vandalism scare. Extra cameras were installed. Footage was being reviewed regularly. Anything that happened on campus during that ceremony was recorded. Every hallway, every entrance, every interaction. I didn't want revenge. I want to be clear about that. I wasn't out to destroy my sister's life, but she had told a lie that could destroy mine, and the truth was sitting on a hard drive somewhere in that school's security office. I needed it, not to hurt her, to protect myself. Because the lie she told could cost me more than feelings. It could cost me my career. I didn't go to the meeting alone. I brought Mrs. Okafor. She was the associate dean at the college where I worked, and she had been my mentor for almost 4 years. She was the kind of woman who wore reading glasses on a chain and could silence a room just by standing up. She had seen everything in her decades working in education. Office politics, family drama bleeding into professional spaces, people losing jobs over rumors that started at a dinner table. When I told her what happened, she didn't flinch. "Brielle," she said, "if your sister lied about you in a professional setting, this isn't family business anymore. This is your livelihood." She helped me stay calm. She helped me organize my evidence. She told me not to call Vanessa, not to post anything, not to react at all. "Request a proper meeting," she said. "Let the process work." Meanwhile, Vanessa kept posting. She uploaded a video of herself opening a graduation gift, laughing with friends. The caption read, "People finally see the truth about Brielle." She thought she was untouchable. She thought her version of events was the only one that mattered because she said it louder. Mrs. Okafor saw the post and looked at me over her glasses. If they lied once in writing, they'll do it again. Let them. She was right. 2 days before my meeting, Vanessa sent me another message. "I hope you're not trying to start something. Everyone already knows what kind of person you are." I screenshotted it, saved it, said nothing. The meeting was set for Thursday morning. The principal had asked me to come in because the school had discovered something serious connected to graduation day. I didn't know exactly what yet, but I walked into that building with a folder in my hand and Mrs. Okafor beside me, and I was done being quiet. The principal's name was Dr. Whitfield. He was a tall man with a calm voice, the kind of person who didn't waste words. He gestured for me to sit. Mrs. Okafor sat beside me. Across the table was the vice principal and the school's head of security. A laptop sat open in the center of the table. "Miss Carter," Dr. Whitfield said, "thank you for coming in. I want to show you something." He turned the laptop toward me and pressed play. The footage was from graduation day, a hallway camera near the main entrance. At 9:47 a.m., my sister walked up to the front desk and spoke with a staff member. The audio wasn't clear, but the security officer had transcribed the conversation from a follow-up interview with the staff member. Vanessa had told the front desk that I, Brielle Carter, was not authorized to attend and was a potential disruption. She used my full name. She described me. She said I had been recently terminated from a local college and might cause a scene. "Is any of that true?" Dr. Whitfield asked me. "No, sir," I said. "I'm currently employed, I've never been terminated, and I wasn't planning to cause anything. I just wanted to watch my sister graduate." He nodded. "We also have footage from the seating area at 10:12 a.m. He played the second clip. My mother was in the frame, speaking to an usher. The usher looked confused and then walked toward the side door, where another staff member was standing. According to the usher's statement, my mother had told her that a woman matching Brielle's description might try to enter and should be turned away for safety reasons. I felt my throat tighten, but I didn't cry. Not there. I opened my folder. I placed the screenshots on the table, the "don't come" texts, the voicemails, the email thread from months before where Vanessa asked me for $1,200 and then told a cousin I was embarrassing to be around. The post that read, "People finally see the truth about Brielle." Dr. Whitfield read them in silence. Then he looked at Vanessa's transcript again and said, "Filing a false safety concern about a person to restrict their access to a public event is a serious matter. It impacted our staff and our procedures." The consequences were clear. Vanessa would be formally banned from campus events for 2 years. A report would be filed with the district. The school would issue a correction to any staff who had been told the false information. And Vanessa would be required to submit a written statement acknowledging what she had done. Her perfect image didn't just crack, it collapsed, because the cameras saw everything she thought no one would ever see. I walked out of that building with my name cleared. My job was safe, my reputation was intact, and for the first time in years I could breathe without wondering what story someone was telling about me behind my back. Mom called that evening. She didn't say sorry. She said, "I think we all just got a little carried away." No accountability, no honesty, just another attempt to smooth things over so I'd keep showing up when they needed me. Vanessa didn't call. She texted, one line, "You didn't have to do that." I didn't respond. not out of anger, out of clarity. I called Mom the next day and said what I should have said years ago. You don't get access to me when it's convenient and silence me when it's not. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your secret. And I'm done performing for a family that only wants me off stage. She was quiet for a long time. I hung up before she could fill the silence with another excuse. I'm not waiting to be invited anymore. I'm choosing people who choose me. Getting uninvited broke my heart. Getting the truth back rebuilt it. If your family ever tried to erase you from big moments just to protect their image, you know that pain. It's not just rejection, it's being told you're not worth being seen. Have you ever been told not to show up and then blamed anyway? Tell me, I want to hear your story. Subscribe if you're done shrinking for other people's comfort. Drop your experience in the comments because someone reading it needs to know they're not the only one. Share your story and click hype to help this story reach others who need it. Your story has power. If you felt a connection to mine, please subscribe and share your journey in the comments. Every hype you give this video helps empower someone else who's been silenced by the people who were supposed to love them. Thank you for being here and for listening. I mean that. Don't let anyone make you feel like you don't belong in your own life, because you do. You always did.